Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. I'm flying solo this week as Boz is sunning himself in Malaga with Stocky for Stocky's 30th birthday. Another weekly review and another preview as we look ahead to Doncaster away this Saturday. But it seems our manager realises that he may be on borrowed time. Back page. Braced for crunch time, and a big picture of Steve Lovell. That's Thursday's Medway Messenger. A couple of quotes from Mr. Lovell. You win games by doing the work out on the training ground, and that is what we do and what we will continue to do. Hopefully we will get the results, and if we don't get the results, then everybody knows what will happen. I knew we would be all right this year with those players, but unfortunately we've had too many of them off injured. He's talking about new signings. He talks about this spark that's been missing, particularly the likes of Brandon Hanlon and Regan Charles Cook, who are currently both sidelined through injury. He also goes on to say the final paragraph in this piece is, we know we can do it, it's just about the consistency. It is not far off, but we have to start producing and getting results, grinding them out and then building a little bit of momentum. That word is key for me, grinding them out. I think on the whole, over the last two games, we've played 4 halves of football and we was pretty decent for 3 of them. In fact, we were very good for 2 at Portsmouth, and I thought the first half at home to Southend last week wasn't too bad at all, and was very hopeful at half-time interval that we could go on and win the game. Unfortunately, we all know what happened. Start of the second half, we didn't come out of the dressing room. I did a poll last week regarding Steve Lovell and how much time he potentially had left, and for me, this braced for crunch time and next few games talk would indicate to me that maybe he's been given some sort of target over the next 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not sure, it's just me surmising. But as we've said on this vlog plenty of times, it's a results business, and if you're not winning football matches as a manager, then you know you're going to be in trouble in terms of getting the sack. But yeah, there was one quote which I'm going to put up on the screen now. This comes from Mr. Lovell's press conference on Thursday when he spoke to the media. We have the character to get out of it. If we continue the way we are, then we will be fine. What do you make of that, Gills fans? For me, it's a slightly naive comment coming on the back of the fact that he's admitted he's heading into a very crucial period in terms of his reign. And it comes on the back of another home defeat, unfortunately. So for me, it's a strange comment because we've won 1 game in 10. So if we continue doing that, we're going to go down. I'm not saying that's going to happen, of course, but if we continue in this vein, we are banging trouble and will continue to be for the rest of the season. So I'm not sure entirely what he means. I genuinely do hope we have the character to turn it round and pick up points in the next 3 games, because I said on the Monday review, and I said on the Matchday Live, and I've said on Reece and James's Fancast, I couldn't be happier if Steve Lovell manages to turn it around, because that means he's getting results and Gillingham Football Club's doing well. So for me, a slightly odd comment, but I guess it's tricky when you're facing cameras and stuff may be misconstrued or taken out of context slightly. But anyway, enough about our manager. I'm going to have a little look at this man now who writes for the Shouting Men column this week. That's Billy Bingham talking about how he's desperate to get back in the squad and firing again. He's been hampered by massive injury problems since arriving last summer, unfortunately. I think he's only played 15 league games. I noticed last weekend at the Southend fixture there was a lot of fans singing his name and his song, and Billy Bingham, he never gives the ball away. And it just got me thinking, because for me, is he a holding midfielder would be my main question, you know, like an enforcer type. I know we had this 15 years ago when Claude Makelele arrived on these shores and suddenly holding midfielders became very fashionable and defensive midfielders. But is Billy Bingham a archetypal defensive midfielder, or is he just a decent enough lower league centre midfielder who's been pigeonholed slightly in a similar way to Josh Wright was a couple of years ago? Because he used to sit deep at the base of the diamond, people assumed he was a holding midfielder, when in fact he probably wasn't. But yeah, just looking at some brief stats, he's played 15 games for us, Billy Bingham. And if he's meant to be our holding midfielder and the shield for our defence, then we've only won 4 of them 15 games. And I think we've only kept, I think it's 3 clean sheets in that time. Accrington this season, Doncaster away last season, Peterborough away last season. So it's only 3 clean sheets in 15. So my question again is he just a deep line playmaker, a ball playing midfielder who's for one reason or another been pigeonholed? We've taken 16 points from 45 when he plays, and we concede over 1.5 a game. So for me it says more deep line playmaker and not defensive shield midfield enforcer. But oddly enough, when we do win, we win against very good sides when he plays. So I'm not for 1 minute sitting here and saying Bings is not a good footballer, because this season we've beaten Accrington and Burton with him in the side. So that was a team that had won League Two last season, that hadn't lost at home for about 8 months. Burton come down from the Championship and he was very good in that game. Last season we beat Peterborough away and Rotherham away with him in the side. So there's clearly ability there, but I just think he might have been incorrectly labelled. Let's say that. But it'd be great to have him available, because we need people back from injury, with the likes of Regan Charles Cook and Dean Parrott still on the treatment table. But yeah, just one to think about, Gills fans, like you always do. Comment on Facebook and Twitter and let us know what you think about Billy Bingham. Is he unjustly being labelled a midfield enforcer, or do you think he is one? Statistically, I'd say he's probably not. In terms of, like I say, league wins and goals conceded per game. But we do score over a goal a game when he plays as well. So, and I know he was involved in both of the goals at Accrington straight away at the start of this season. So for me, I think he's maybe just a centre midfielder. But moving on from one midfielder to another one, this lad came on last week and caught the eye. It's not the first time this season. He was very good against Sunderland as well in a brief cameo, and got rave reviews when he played against Millwall in a Carabao Cup. That's the line inside, pushing hard for a start. Talking about Bradley Stevenson, who you've just seen on your screen. Does he come into contention for Saturday? I thought he was very, very bright when he came on last Saturday at the Priestfield at home to Southend. He tried to be brave, he tried to get us on the front foot and make things happen. He created a chance for Elliot List that, unfortunately, Listy blazed into the Rainham end. He had one shot from the edge of the box that may have been just creeping inside the post, I'm not sure, but the keeper made a decent save down to his left. We watched him in pre-season, he was very, very good, he was scoring goals. So for me, Bradley Stevenson comes right into contention for Saturday's trip to Doncaster Rovers. I think similarly to like Elliot List, I think if he gets one, then he might just get some confidence and go on a bit of a roll. But he's certainly not disappointed anyone in the bits and pieces that I've seen of him this campaign so far. And I think let's give him a go from the start. Why not? It can't do any harm. We need some creativity, and he's tried to provide that. So yeah. Anyway, we travel up north tomorrow, as I've already said, as we visit this place. Doncaster Rovers, currently 4th, I believe, in Sky Bet League One. Yep, played 13, won 7, drawn 3, lost 3, but 2 of them defeats have come in the last 3 games. In terms of last 6, they have taken 12 points from 18. That is 4 wins and 2 defeats. Gills have taken 4 points from the last 18. That is a win, a draw and 4 defeats. Looking at home and away records though, them at home this season, 1 drawn, 1 lost. So 11 from 18, and Gills on the road, 1 lost, drawn 1. So 7 from 18. So majority of our points are coming on the road again, which seems to be the pattern that has occurred ever since Steve Lovell took over last autumn. In terms of them, I think Grant McCann's done a really good job. I thought he was harshly treated at Peterborough, to be honest, when he got the sack. He's gone up to Doncaster, replaced Darren Ferguson, who I think was highly thought of up there for most part. He's got them playing more expansive and attacking football, and they're reaping the rewards, and that's why they're sitting in the playoff zone at the moment. Whether they can maintain it remains to be seen, but they're doing a lot better than I predicted at the start of the season in my season preview. John Marquis, we know all about him. He was very good on loan with us a few seasons back, and I know plenty of Gills fans wanted him signed on a permanent, but he dropped into League Two and he's done really well there, and he's stepped up and proved himself to be a very able marksman at this level as well, and he's just recently gone past 50 goals for the club in just over 100 games, so we'll do well to keep him quiet for 90 minutes. Be a good test for whoever plays at the back. In terms of us, team news, we've got no Dean Parrott for a few weeks. It looks like Regan Charles Cook is probably not going to quite make Saturday, but they're confident he's fit for Tuesday when we travel to Plymouth. And Brandon Hanlon seems to be recovering rather well from this hamstring problem, but it looks like Saturday's going to come too soon. So in terms of a team lineup, see, I've written it down as a 3-4, well, 3-5-2, 3-4-1-2, but with this personnel and knowing his love for the diamond, I'm sure it'll be a 4-1-2-1-2. But I would go Thomas Holy in goal this week. I'd play a back three of Max Amar, Gabriel Zaquani and Alex Lacey. I would then have Barry Fuller at right wing back, Bradley Garmston at left wing back, Mark Byrne and Callum Riley central, and then I would have Bradley Stevenson in behind Tom Eaves and Connor Wilkinson. Reasons being for that, I think Luke O'Neill's been way off the pace generally for quite a while now, unfortunately. Poor form. Barry Fuller's kept him out the side for a little while. I thought he was decent enough first half last week, and then he was shocking second half, unfortunately. And for me, the biggest positives from the second half last Saturday were the substitutes. I thought they all come on and tried to make an impression. Connor Wilkinson put himself about, should have definitely had at least one penalty. Bradley Garmston come on and played wide left, got himself to the byline, got a couple of dangerous balls into the box and generally played on the front foot, which was great to see. And as I've already spoken about, Bradley Stevenson was very bright. I've taken Elliot List out this week. I thought last week was his big chance, and I championed Elliot at the beginning of the season. Unfortunately, he picked up a couple of injuries, but he was shocking last Saturday. Unfortunately, he just didn't get a kick for whatever reason, and there was plenty of people, myself included, that forgot he was even out on the pitch second half, unfortunately. So that would be my team, 3-5-2. Substitutes would be Thomas Hadler, Luke O'Neill, Josh Reese, Connor Ogilvie, Navid Nasseri, Elliot Rist and Josh Parker. I've spoken about Billy Bingham. I'd probably leave him till Tuesday. It just gives him another couple of days. And in terms of a prediction, some people might think I'm over-optimistic. Some people might think I'm blind stupid. It is only coffee, I promise, in there, which I've just spilt on the table. It's going to be one of them days. I am going to go for Doncaster Rovers 1, Gillingham 1. Goal scorers will be John Marquis for Donny and Connor Wilkinson for the Gills. I'm trying to sort out this prize giveaway, trying to get me head around something. It might be match tickets or something for one of the upcoming home games, so keep an eye out for that if we do tweet and put it on the Facebook page and all the platforms. Please keep liking, subscribing, retweeting, sharing, and everything that you do really is appreciated. And until next time, up the Gills.